We are live, y'all. All right. You ready for the show? Let's go.
This is a stat production, baby.
I can see the new days, good vibes on my YouTube. Dark days never stay like a noonday. Here to shine light to the people. Power of three, Miss Clover Nova, Mrs. Coco, Mr. Tony OG. It's the midday Monday lunch break hour for me. Clover Nova note, yeah. Mondays at noon, Central. Clover Nova note. Subscribe and tune in to the show. Clover Nova note. Mondays at noon, Central. Clover Nova note. Subscribe and tune in to the show. Let's talk about it. Who's on the line? Let's talk about it. What's on your mind? Let's talk about it. Hey Charms, you are now tuned in to Clover Nova Note. Now if you're new here, don't hit that subscribe button. And if you're returning, welcome back to KNN.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of KNN. What you guys was just witnessing right there was me spilling my drink all over myself right before the show. But we're back.
Let's talk about it.
The Tower of Three. Let's talk about it. Right. Okay.
Hey.
So,
Power through.
welcome.
Which one are you?
Oh, let me give us a round of applause for all three of us being back at the same time.
I miss y'all.
Take the wheel.
I missed you. I missed you.
Oh,
Was it 2 Mondays now?
Who's counting?
Not me. That's why I asked the question. I don't know.
Okay.
But we're back. That's the main important part. We're back. We're still in mental health month. And I'm excited about this show. I ain't gonna say I'm excited about it, but I'm excited to shed some light about the topic of this show. But as we do every Monday at noon Central, we discuss our previous days, right? So how was you guys' week?
Come on, let us know about your weekend, Miss Cocolicious.
Yes.
Had some great time.
I've had some good days.
better
I'm sorry, go ahead. I thought you was about to.
The next one now. No, but
Hey.
Cinco de Mayo 5-5. My king celebrated his birthday, so that was absolutely incredible.
Oh, happy
Yes.
Cinco de Mayo birthday.
Sure. And then my mom, Granny Meow, she celebrated her birthday on the 11th. So shout out to her.
Happy birthday to you.
Mother's Day. So y'all, if y'all haven't, caught up the last show, here we go.
Yeah. So happy belated Mother's Day.
Happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms. Can y'all see me?
We can.
Yeah.
We see your beautiful face, girl.
Well, it's just a black screen on my end. So.
Are you serious? Well, we can see you.
Because you's black. Okay, so we gonna have black screens. That's what we do.
As the Black Girl Magic banner is right behind you. Damn.
Exactly.
Everything has been wonderful on my end. I had some awesome time with my kiddo. Her last day is Friday. Womp, womp, womp. We're sad about that. We're pretty sad about that.
On behalf of the little one, we're gonna go.
No, but she's not happy. She's,
Oh, she's not happy.
No, my kid loves school. So the fact that school is yeah, she's in her feelings, but whatever.
Couldn't have been me.
I know, right? It's like, how many more days? Can I just skip this week? But she's like, no. So
mine's just excited.
So yeah, I could go on and on, but I've had a lovely month of May. And shout out to my boo, Buster Rams. He also celebrated his birthday.
I knew. See, we announced that last week. I said I knew if Coco was here, she would be like, "Oh my god!" So shout out to Busta Rhymes.
That's Busta. He's watching.
What it is right now.
Yes,
Busta, what
indeed.
it is right now.
What about you, Mr. G? How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was great. We had today is me and hubby's anniversary.
Happy
So to
anniversary.
celebrate, thank you. It's our anniversary.
Anniversary. Hey.
Anniversary. Today is a special day. Not
You
like
better
anything.
sing
Okay, so yeah. So we did good. We did good. We
Miss Brooklyn said, hey, y'all, got off work at 8 a.m. and trying to stay awake so I can. Thank you so much.
Well, I
That's my
appreciate
first
you. Thanks, fam. Yeah,
before
yeah,
you
yeah. So we
guarantee you'll be woke.
that's right. So
we
we
have a
had let's see. So yesterday we went out to this Brazilian. Thanks, cuz. So we went out to this Brazilian steakhouse place. So it was really good. We checked out. There's a new one that just opened up close to us called Gamagachu. So we went there. It was pretty good. It was nice. Had to
Wait,
turn
what's
on.
the
It was
name
so
of
funny too. Gamagachu.
it?
You heard of Fogo de Chao?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of the same kind of chains, a Brazilian steakhouse.
Okay.
So we went there. It was really good. It was really nice. Then we had, and when we sat down, we looked at each other. We said, "Watch they bring us the chicken first." And sure enough, they brought that damn chicken over first. It's like these motherfuckers. Can we get some of the steak?
yeah.
Can I have some of the lamb? Some of the shrimps. You got to bring the chicken over. Even though the chicken was fine, but that ain't the point. you typed us real quick. And they brought off every different type of chicken chow, wrapped in bacon, spicy chicken, charboiled. I mean, just everything. But it was really good. It was really good. It was nice. And so we had that one. So it was good. That was good. Then we had today was my baby's, my youngest. Oh Lord, he graduated today. So it was So they're always talking about going out to eat. Don't nobody be cooking. That's damn for sure. That's for sure. Hell,
At all.
I tell you, not that part. Period. But then my baby graduated today from kindergarten. Child, Lord help me. Ooh,
Yay.
oh, his little self was so happy. He was so happy, so elated. I was gonna show a little picture, so I might put one up a little later, but he was just so happy. Then we just got back not even 15, 20 minutes ago from getting some breakfast. So we went to this place called what the hell was this place called? I just forgot that quick. But anyway, it's pretty good. It's a biscuit and chicken place. What is it called? Anyway, we went there. It was really nice. We had a good time. It's called Maple Street Biscuit. That's what it's called. Maple Street Biscuit.
Okay.
Real good. But yeah, we did that. That was fun.
It's not in Chicago for people that's trying to Google it. In Chicago, that's not
Right.
there.
Well, they may have one out there in the burbs. They may have one in the burbs.
Okay, well, if somebody Google it in Illinois and there's one, please let us know
Maybe
in the comments.
out there like in Naperville or Aurora or something, way out there.
Not if it's all the way out there in the city, somewhere in the surrounding areas. If there's one there, let me know.
Okay, wait. What's the name of it? Maple. Let me go. Let's just
Maple Street Biscuit. Yeah, Maple Street Biscuit. It's the name of the place. Really good place. Real nice. So we did that. Had a good time. Now it's just getting things ready for this busy next few weeks we got going on. So it's gonna be crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm gonna be throwing a game night this Saturday. So we're having a game night / karaoke night on Saturday. So I sent out my invites, got my RSVPs in. We'll have some booze, some good drinks, some people coming over doing some grown people shit. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Hey, Uncle Reggie.
Hi, Uncle Reggie.
I love me a good old game night. I love a good old spades game night.
Yeah, we got everything. We got some spades. We got some. What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I
we got all
found the
that going through. We
location.
got all that going through. See, there's one. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's only 253.68 miles away in Florence, Kentucky. And then there's one in Columbus,
Hey,
Ohio, and Lexington,
there you go.
Kentucky, Tennessee. I guess we won't be
It's coming
trying
that
it.
way. It's coming that way.
Okay.
It's
So not
it's
yet,
moving
y'all.
slowly but surely. From Texas all the way to Ohio,
It'll
it's
be here
coming.
soon.
It's coming. Yeah.
Okay.
It is Southern. It is Southern. Yeah, that Chick-fil-A ain't got nothing on Maple Street biscuit, honey.
Oh,
Tell you, them
really?
chickens are seasoned in. They are seasoned in all the way through to the meat, not just the
Okay.
skin, but the meat is seasoned. Okay, so they knew what they were doing.
So when I
But yeah,
come
that was
when I
my
come down
weekend.
there, that's my first place. You taking me to
That's
that
it.
place. Okay. Let's keep that in
Let's
mind,
go.
y'all.
It's a nice little brunch place. They got some good old mimosas there too. Child, let me tell you, I have hallelujah.
Hopefully by then I'll be
Hallelujah.
able to double date y'all. I'll be able to have a little date with me.
Yes. Yeah, I
Hopefully
already
by then.
got somebody on the side by for you, on the side by, so we can get you together. Just waiting for
Well, you
you to
got
show
what?
up. They're just waiting for you to show up. I'm just saying. Just saying they're waiting for you to show up.
No, you don't. Are you
They're just waiting for you to show up, honey. I'm trying to tell
Oh
you.
wow.
I moves. Because when I move, you move. Just like that. Hey.
I'm telling me
Saw
he
that
just
Fast
really
X yesterday. You
yeah.
think? Bring yourself. Show yourself down here. We'll see. All righty. How about you, Miss Clover? How was your last week? What did you do?
Okay, so it wasn't as exciting as you guys this week. Mom had an incident a few days ago that oh gosh. Well, she tried to get in the shower. Her foot got caught. I had to call the ambulance, y'all. Her foot got caught between the shower chair and the tub. She was trying to get in. I don't know how she got her foot that way, but it was twisted. And she
Ooh.
was just sitting there like calling my name. And I came in and I said, Mom, how did your feet get twisted? Like I was trying to get in the tub, but she didn't put her feet in front of the chair. She put it on the side of the chair and then sat on the
Mhm.
chair. So they came, it took three of them. They all had to lift the whole chair up, get her foot out. And for the last couple of days, I've been trying to get her to
Ooh.
go to the hospital. She said it's better now. She's on her neuropathy shoes. She's walking around now. But for the first, few moments, I was just like, we need to go to the hospital. She said no. So she didn't break nothing. She didn't tear nothing. But, I like to be sure. But she's better now.
Mhm.
She's up walking around. I'm monitoring her. Y'all know I monitor my mama when I'm not over there. So she's doing much better now. But other than that, I went to my cousin's house. We had a card game. I got a little messed up, but I got home
A
safe.
little.
I had fun.
That's good.
I was lit. Okay,
She here
at the
today.
card.
She here
I
today,
was
so
lit.
we know she got back safe because she here today. So
I am. What else?
Are y'all
I got the phone lines. Okay, that she got you back. We got the static, but at least you're back. I
in? I don't know. Yeah.
that static is on my end.
I
I
don't hear
think
static.
you don't.
You don't.
Okay,
I don't hear static.
works for me. I'm gonna keep the show going anyway. Listen, we're the perfectly imperfect show. For anybody that's new here today, I hope you guys are subscribing to the. Anybody in the
Welcome.
comments hear static? Any of the viewers, if you hear static, please comment static.
I do. Mm.
Probably lost a car. Actually, no, it was actually a tie, I believe. Mrs. Brookins, while that's my sister, y'all. Listen,
You lost in
I didn't
cards.
have my usual partner, which is my cousin Joe. My cousin Joe and I, when we get together,
Joe.
yes, Joe. When we play spades,
Joe.
we play for blood. I don't know how we do it. I don't count cards. I'm not a avid card player. But when me and him are
Joe.
partners, it's over with. Yes, Joe. We did it, Joe.
We did it,
We
Joe.
did it.
The next winner of this paint game, we got our Red Eye Boston.
Okay. Okay, y'all hear stuff. Okay. It comes and goes, y'all. So we're gonna keep going regardless. This is what we do. Okay. So other than that, my week was a blessed one. It was a productive one. Like I said, last Monday we advertised that we have a phone line, and then last Monday I couldn't get it to work. But now I hope we got it to work. Like I was rushing to get the show. I was trying to test it out beforehand, but I tested it last night. Everything was good. So we should be good. So at the end of the show, we're gonna open the phone lines. Anything that we say from now on to the end of the show, you guys can comment on. If you want to just simply say you like the show, you guys have the opportunity. We have the opportunity to hear you guys and talk to you guys. We ask that you keep it short, no cursing, and let's have fun. Let's get into it. I'm saying have fun when the show is abuse. We're talking about abuse today, y'all. I think I feel like everybody knows someone, or if not themselves, have experienced some kind of a form of abuse um, in their lifetime, whether it's someone you know or someone just you've heard about. Everyone is very common about abuse, and we want to shed some light on the types of abuse and the stigmas behind some of the types of abuse. So that's the topic for today, to end up our mental health month. I'm trying to keep up with the comments too, y'all.
All right, we got you. You go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and get to talking. We got this.
Okay, y'all got it? Okay, Coco, we're gonna roll with it anyway. We hear you. That's the main important part.
I purposely turned my camera off because it appears that I'm
Okay.
so I here I just decided to turn the camera off so I just don't be frozen.
Okay. So
Ghana, that's such a beautiful name.
yes, she was our
I
guest last
know that.
Monday.
As if I didn't
Yes,
know.
you was.
I didn't have the opportunity to tell her. So I wanted to tell her,
Yes.
I love your name.
Okay.
And thank you for being on
So
the show.
I'm going to start off with a couple of facts that I've Googled and researched about abuse. The first one is that one of 3 female victims of completed or attempted rape experienced it for the first time between the ages of 11 and 17. Now just let that soak in now. Between the ages of 11 and 17, one of 3 female victims of completed or attempted rape experienced it for the first time. How devastating that must be. Um, I can't say that I'm directly connected to someone who experienced rape, but I know I've heard some people talk about it. I'm not familiar with like the process of how someone thinks after, how someone feels after we've seen it in the movies. We've seen it portrayed on, with actors and actresses and stuff like that. But to actually go through it, it has to be a devastating and traumatic experience. Um, we talked last Monday about PTSD, depression, anxiety. I feel like all of that ties in when you experience something like rape, like that. You never know what that does to your mentality to after you go through something like that. um do any of you guys have or know someone who has experienced rape and what that process was like for them?
Yes. 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 Surprisingly, or unfortunately, I do. I know that it is a very traumatic situation.
Yeah.
I understand that, you know, abuse itself comes in many forms, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's emotional. Um, um, Yeah, as Miss Bergen said, right here, verbal, physical, mental, social abuse is, you got rape, molestation, it all kind of, it's a different sides and factions of abuse itself. And unfortunately, we have a ton of abuse that is not reported. We have a ton of abuse that is, um, done, especially to our youth,
Yes.
which is underrated, undiscovered, even because of the situations of putting children in uncomfortable positions, maybe, and just not really listening to our kids when they tell you something is wrong,
Mm,
right? So I think that's a huge piece that we have to consider. And then on top of that, I know a lot of times we talk about abuse when it comes to females, but it also is very common in males as well.
Yes.
So understanding that, it's not just a one or the other, but it's a holistic problem, I think
Mhm.
is where the conversation really needs to be focused on, so that we can change it holistically as a problem, versus just looking at one limb. Because I think, there was a study done in Orlando, from a criminal defense attorney, and we saw that in Orlando, Florida specifically, 1 out of 5 women were being abused, and 1 out of 13 men were being abused. So just just to keep that just in mind, as we look at it, and it's not just because the men were, um, sometimes it's same sex and sometimes it's not, right? You have, there are female predators out there as well as, like, there are male predators that are out there, that throw those roofies in the drinks, or uh, do those type of things.
Bill
Date rape
Cosby.
is very common, um, when it comes to men being molested as well. So, because people don't know, but the penis is an organ, right? And it's just blood flow that's going through there. It doesn't have to be a sexual arousal that needs to be done to it. So, if a man is unconscious or he sleep, penis still get hard. Okay,
Yeah.
everything still functions. Okay, so
Actually, I have a
just
fact
understand
about
that.
that too. That says nearly a
Yeah,
quarter, 24.8% of men in the U.S. experience some form of sexual violence in their lifetime. And
yeah,
also, another one that says about 1 in 4 male victims completed or attempted rape first experienced it between the ages of 11 and 17. So the youth is highly impacted by um,
Wow.
rape or some kind of sexual form of abuse, which is unfortunate. Uncle Reg
yeah.
said, I was abused and molested. Okay, Uncle Dredger, we really would love for you to call in the show if you want to shed some light on your experience. If only if you want to, when this is not forced, I don't know, force you to do it or whatever. But when we open the phone lines, we do invite you guys to shed some light. We want to break the stigma of people that have experienced that and feel like they can't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. I also want to ask the question. There's a term, especially a few years ago, that was really heavy about see something, say something. Um,
Hmm.
okay, Mrs. Brooker says yes, men are definitely victims as well. Large number, to be honest. I just don't think men speak up about. Right. So,
It is.
Tonio, for you as a male, um, what would you advise someone who is a male who came to you and disclosed that they have been a victim of rape? Like, how do we break the stigma on men um, confronting that experience?
So
What do you think?
it's actually one of the it's actually, excuse me, it's actually one of the jobs that I had when I was in the military. So I said, many of you may know, I've said it before, I worked in the medical field. So, um, that was part of one of my certifications or one of my jobs, and that was being a sharp representative. And, and what sharp stands for is sexual, harassment, assault response, and prevention. And within that itself, what I had to do was to take in reports from individuals that were harassed or assaulted by another person. So that's both men and women. So it's a difficult situation to be in, but you definitely have to be sensitive to the situation. You have to definitely have to be compassionate to that individual. There's been some false allegations here and there, but our job
Mm-hmm.
isn't to determine whether or not at that moment if the allegation is false or if it's true, but to actually take in the report itself, to take in all the
Yeah.
facts, to ask the correct questions, to get the information, and not um, trying to decide again whether or not that person is being truthful or not. After we get into facts and we start the investigations, and that's when everything starts to be uncovered. I would say that um, out of the percentages of information that I did receive or reporting that I did receive when it came from men was very low. The ones that did come forward were the ones that were forced to come forward
Mm-hmm.
because either they contracted some type of disease because of the situation,
Yeah.
or they were in some type of pain because of the situation, to where they had to go to the hospital. Um, and yeah, it was difficult. There was definitely a lot of shame. There was a lot of embarrassment. They felt less than. Um, because the majority of the individuals were straight men. So of all races, so it takes a lot to step up and to say, "Hey, I allowed," because that's what it feels like, right? I allowed someone to
Yeah.
take control over me as a man, where I'm supposed to be the protector or I'm supposed to be the strong one in a relationship, but I was on the receiving end of being dominated. So it's difficult to be in that situation mentally, and I think society as well seems to put a hindrance or a um, minimizes the masculinity of the individual because of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And we are talking about stigmas as well, so that ties into the stigma on especially men that get abused. They feel like, that takes away their manhood to admit it, that happened to them. But
yeah.
I feel like
It's
it's
a,
a strength when you can
yeah.
admit that you've been violated that way. It
Mhm.
takes strength to do that,
Yeah.
because it's something that needs to be shed light on too. Because oftentimes we only look at women and children as the victims of
Yeah.
something like that, and it's frowned upon with other men who feel like rape, like you should be enjoying the fact that a woman, is, and it's not always an enjoyable situation. It's always,
Right.
I feel like sometimes a man who, how do I say this? A man that doesn't want to like disrespect or like hit a woman that's like you said, a lot of times it's a rupee or something that they're off of a substance and they're just like, they take advantage of it. But
Yeah.
oftentimes it's when they're not even high or intoxicated at all. It's just the dynamic of the relationship. It's like she's like more aggressive and he's very passive, and it just
Yeah.
happens. So I feel like admitting that to some men feels like they're admitting that they don't have a backbone, or their manhood is their man card has been revoked or whatever. But it's not. I think women need to be treated just as a man would sexually abuse a woman. Women should be treated with the same type of consequences and repercussions as a man. You rape a
Yeah.
man, you should be held accountable for that as well.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
Ms. Brookins says it's long lasting, sometimes irreparable damage. Yes, that does mess with your mental health as well. It ties into the
Yeah.
last show. If you guys have not watched the show last Monday, we talked about PTSD, depression, anxiety. That can tie into that too. And that's a life altering moment. Like if you could, I could just not imagine me being the same person after a rape as I am today. I would have a fear of social connections with anybody. You know, like don't get too close to me. You know, it's a traumatic experience.
Yeah, it
Um,
definitely ties into social anxiety and things of that nature.
yeah.
When you really look at it, I know that we're talking about adults right now. So before I want to transition, look at some of the kids. I got some statistics I wanted to share with everyone. But I see Skylar just posted something here saying, "I remember in my 20s I was abused." So
Okay. I'm
it's
so sorry to
difficult
hear
when
that.
yeah, that definitely difficult to hear about that. Um, and like Clovis said a little bit earlier, we're gonna have our phone lines open here shortly. So if you guys want to share in that story, then please, we're gonna throw the number up here. And if you guys want to go ahead and call in, we can go ahead and listen to your story if you want to share. If not, that's okay, right? But we're definitely
Yeah.
here just to really talk about that this month. Um, and a lot of people don't have the opportunity to get free of that, but I'm glad to hear that you did, Skylar, stating that, I was glad you
Yes.
got out of that
Congratulations
relationship.
for that.
A lot of people they feel victimized. Yeah. You get that feeling of being trapped, and
Yeah.
it's difficult. And then when we look at our children, our babies who don't have the capability to get away, it's it's difficult. It's very difficult. Um, So I'm gonna toss up some numbers here just to show some things.
Okay. While you're doing that, I want to bring up my last K and E effect, which is I know y'all hear the static, but we're gonna roll it anyway. This one says that nationwide, 81% of women and men, um, 80% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual harassment and or assaults in their lifetime. So that's something definitely to think about. 81% of women and 43% of men. So this is not just a woman and child occurrence where we want to shed light on. This is across the board, really.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for that. And I see. So kind of talking about here, again, military situation she had. They that actually from in active duty military sexual trauma. So it happens because even though we're in the military, they're still humans. They're still people. So they're not immune to stupid or dumbass behaviors. So the good thing about it is that we do have structures, laws, and regulations in place to help out these situations. That has not
Yeah.
always been the case, right? I will say that has not always been the case, but I believe that we are making strides, especially on the medical side of the house, when it comes to acknowledging and building the repercussions for these types of behavior. So, just thank you for sharing that. So we appreciate that. Some of the stats I wanted to get at was from the National Criminal Justice Training Center. This is down in Fox Valley Technical College. But what they've done, this was just as of April of last year, 2022, some of the statistics from national rate. We got 3.9 million children were referred to protective services, resulting in 7.1 million sustaining reports of some type of maltreatment or identification. 618,000 were unique counts of victim of abuse or some type of neglect. And then it goes on and on. We got 8.9 and 7.9 million just kids who were in some type of abuse throughout their years. And this is, again, not just sexual abuse. We're talking about physical abuse, mental abuse as well. As we look through this, neglect, 3 out of 4 children being neglected or physically abused, 16.5% of those, and 9.4% of those were sexually abused. And it's just something you got to think about. So those of you may or may not know, I'm a part of a blended family. My husband and I, we adopted 4 children. And it's sad to say that 100% of the children that we adopted and we fostered for about 5 years, they all had some type of abuse, suffered through some type of abuse through their bio
Mm.
parents. And it was very upsetting and frustrating. So to have a child, to see a child firsthand go through those struggles was
Yeah.
very difficult. But it's great to know that Child Protective Services or CPS actually got it right when it came to removing those kids from that situation and finding a better place for them to be in. And we were fortunate enough to be their forever home for some of our for our babies. So shout out to all of, thank you. Shout out to just all of the fostering parents out there, to adoptive parents out there, to anyone out there that's really taken in children that have been placed in that situation and bringing those kids into your home and loving them and treating them as they're your own because they are at that point, right? You said yes, they said yes, that's it.
And
So,
shout out to you for doing that because we need more people. I even wanted to wanted to foster a child. I don't know yet, but I do have an interest in fostering children that just to show them something different. Like it's unfortunate that a lot of children. That was my next um, question too. Like, how does that affect children that's been not been directly, but even indirectly affected by abuse? Like watching their parents get abused, and not just sexually, but just verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, substance abuse. A lot of that affects the children too. A lot of parents don't really realize that. They feel like, oh, they're too young. They don't know what's going on. But children these days are soaking up things like sponges, and they see, even though they don't know how to say what they see, but they're watching
oh
people.
yeah,
And, if you're in an abusive
yeah,
relationship, that should be your motivation to get out of it when you have children. Um, where will
that's
young
so
people?
important. And yeah, go ahead. I was about to read that too. Go
No, I was
ahead.
reading a comment from Miss Brooke and said, "Where will young people
Yeah,
know what's right or wrong when it comes to abuse?" Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The only way they can know, how young people be able to tell the difference, and the only way they can is by conversations. You got to have those conversations with the kids. You got to let them know what right looks like and what wrongs looks like. I think she said a little bit earlier too. It's kind of upsetting that social media glorifies abuse. For example, the Blueface and his
yes,
girlfriend. There's so much help. Exactly, it's bullshit. You don't need. You don't really need to see that type of thing on television being glorified. So I used to love, and this is something that I thought that we got it right when it came to television back in the day, was that you had shows that talked about, that were groundbreaking, that spoke about what abuse was, what it looked like, and how to identify it, who you can talk to, how you can find help, how do you get help. You
exactly.
know, you had shows like A Different World. You had shows like even Fred Sanford even had an episode. The Jeffersons had an episode when Weezy was getting molested by one of George's best friends. And Mama came out with frying pans and she ain't getting none tonight. She came out about to hit upside that head. Because it's important to see these type of things and to react and to say something. You said something a little bit earlier, Ms. Clover, about see something, say something. Don't don't be silent, because that doesn't help out. It doesn't help out at all.
Right.
So, but nowadays, you don't really see all that on TV shows. A little bit here and there, but the activism and the conversation has been dimmed a little bit. I feel most of the shows are more reality based about people being mistreated or being catty and all that. It's a great entertainment, but we're steering away from the focuses of the problems that we're seeing, I think.
Yeah, and I personally would say it starts at home. Like
Yeah,
we're the parents. We need to have that conversation. We need to let the kid
yeah.
know, right and wrong, like you said, Mr. G. And just recently, and I would say a couple weeks ago, someone told me they had to take their one of their family members because when he would
Mm.
go to urinate, he would say it was burning. So they took him to the hospital,
Mm.
and everyone's thinking someone has touched him. And then he said it. Mind you, the kid is 4. And he told the doctors, the police were involved. Obviously, CPS was there, and they doing all kind of tests on the little kid. And they're like, "Well,
Yeah.
who's touching you?" So he named a little boy that attends the same school with him.
Mm-hmm.
That it's him. But that boy was touching him. So come to find out, the little boy had said that boy that
Mm.
wasn't telling the truth. So it's like, well, how do you know when a kid is telling the truth? Like one of the comments, it did mention that. Like, how do you know? And it's very sad that some people will go to jail, behind someone accusing them of something that they didn't. But I
Yeah.
definitely would say it starts at home,
Yep.
talking to the kid, letting them know right from wrong. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, being a safe zone for your kid to talk to you about stuff that deep is important. I think a
Yes.
Yeah.
lot of times, when you install too much fear in
Yeah.
your parenting, it leaves you out of that knowledge because they feel like they did something wrong, and
Yeah.
they'll get punished for it for admitting it. And a lot of times, um, as you see on TV, or in real life most of the time too, that when someone is getting like abused or raped or whatever, once they come to the realization that they can get caught, they'll threaten the victim. Like if you tell anybody,
Yep.
then it's going to be worse, or they're not going to believe you.
Hmm.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of times we have parents and older people that don't believe them, and that's what makes it worse. That's what changes everything. When you do not believe a child that says that someone touched them in an inappropriate way or abused them or hit them or whatever,
Yeah.
that's a very serious
Yeah.
allegation. I think children have the right to be innocent until
Yeah.
proven guilty. So
And
I
just
Well,
think
that's supposed to
little
be the
kid,
society in general.
period. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
What's
But
supposed to be.
especially with children, because if you don't believe a child that's telling you something like that, that can have
Hmm.
that's a domino effect of all kind of things that's going to go on as they get older. You
Yeah.
know, oh, that's appropriate. I didn't get in trouble. Maybe I should do it to
Mhm.
someone
Yeah.
else, or
I,
maybe I
Or
should
just
just
they
not
keep
talk
talking
at
to their
all.
parents about it because the parent thought that they were lying to start. So now they want
Exactly.
right.
to.
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the fact what you said there, Miss Coco, about just really having those conversations with your kids. I know for us as parents, what we do is we don't use play names. You got a penis, right? You
Yeah.
have a butt, you have an anus. This is your nipple. This is your whatever, and that's what we talk to our kids. I said, does somebody touch who touches your penis?
Yep.
Who touches your butt? Who can touch your bottom? Nobody. Okay, got it. The doctor and your parents, the only people that can look at. No, we have those type of conversations so that we're
Yeah.
teaching our children the correct terminology, and like what you're saying right there, Miss Brookins, um, is where your boundaries are, where your personal space, where your no-no zones are, which nobody should be touching this. If someone tries to touch it, there's no reason they should ever do it if I don't tell you they can. If someone
Right.
tells you, oh, mom and dad said it's okay, then you tell them
Yeah.
no, you scream, you yell,
Hmm.
and you run away. That's exactly what you need to do. Right. And then you
Yeah.
come and tell me if someone does it and let me handle that adult. Because I want somebody to come to my face, tell me that I told them it's okay to touch you.
Yeah. And even
Tell
with the
tell me.
my kid knows she can't just walk up to anyone and just go and hug them. We have to have
Exactly.
that is that person's personal space. She has her own personal space. No one can just come up and hug her. You have
Yeah.
to say, "Hey, can I have a
Yeah.
hug?" And you know, so yes, personal space so important. Like yes, that boundary. And I don't go for the nicknames. The you girl par, you're
Yeah.
down there. You
Mhm.
have to have a talk with the kids because someone else can say penis, and if my kid don't know what a penis is, they like, okay, mom called
Yeah.
it something different, and it could be something different in their head. So no, using real names is very
Mhm.
important.
Right.
Absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. I want to circle back a little bit. Something Uncle Reggie said here earlier. He said, yes, even though in the 7 years, it was very hard for him, especially for men, to come out during that time. This is back in the 70s he's talking about, and that he was raped several times. And it took a toll on him, on his mental state. And it's crazy though when we sit and we think about this, right? Because when we look at how things have progressed over the
Mm-hmm.
decades, even, and then the stigma that's wrapped around with that. It's, oh, you're a guy, you're fine. Oh, or you're gay, you wanted it, right? And or you're a female, you dress a certain way, so you wanted that to happen to you. You invited that environment. No one invites abuse. Okay,
No, ma'am.
no
At
one
all.
says come and abuse me because I like it. That's some dominatrix. That's a whole different situation than abuse. That's why the words are different. Okay, so let's be clear. That's not okay. It's not okay in any
And I,
environment.
I also want to add too, like I read a quote that says trauma does not justify abuse. You cannot
Correct.
abuse someone and blame it on the fact that you've been abused. It's still wrong,
Absolutely.
Yep.
regardless. It was wrong. You felt it was wrong when it happened to you. That does not mean that you can stand behind that to do it to other people.
Yeah.
That's another unfortunate fact that happens with victims, especially if they went their whole life telling someone I've been abused and no one believed them. They become the abuser.
Yeah.
In some cases, and they'll
Yeah.
stand behind it. Well, this is all I know, but it's still wrong at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Ms. Brookins said back in the day, nothing but stigma. Yes, the
Yep.
stigma is what prevented everyone from addressing it. And I'm glad that today we've come so far to where we can have a voice and we can do it. This is why we put this show together, just to bring some light to it. Because I don't think people really talk about men getting abused or even the stigma on abuse as much as we
Yeah.
should, because it's an epidemic that's happening in the world with children especially, and with
Hmm.
Yeah,
men too.
Yeah.
definitely.
And just definitely shout out to the Salvation Army, because I know this organization has helped a ton of individuals, the right way. And Uncle Reggie was benefited from their services. So it took him took so long to use for Craftsman, and he was just so grateful to God for delivering me from that pain that he took, that he was in, for just
Yes.
utilizing their services. So shout out to Salvation Army and other organizations and programs like that really, yeah,
We got you. And
provide
I
that
really
type
love
of
He said,
counseling
he
and
said he
everything
meant
for people.
counseling, not
Right.
craftsman.
Yeah, yeah.
That autocorrect spelling, honey. You want to
I
change
know. It
stuff.
gets you good though. It gets you all the time.
But
But
I'm
counseling.
so
well, thank
glad
you
and
guys so
blessed
much
that
for
you
just
guys.
sharing. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Clover. You say we were saying the same thing. Go for it, girl.
Right. I'm so glad you guys are opening up and joining in this conversation.
Hmm.
Like I said, if you
Yep.
guys are new to the show, um, go ahead and subscribe. We have various topics to talk about. Click on the bell for notifications. And we thank you guys for joining in this conversation. This is very important. Share this on your social media pages. If you watch any of our videos and you feel like someone needs to hear this, don't be
Yeah.
afraid to share this on your social media platforms. We encourage it. We would love to keep this conversation like this going on every topic, not just mental health, but everything we do. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to the show. Are we opening the phone lines now?
Yeah. Phone now. Let's get it.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's do the question of the day first because I want maybe someone can answer the question
Thought
of the
we were
day.
doing the phone line throughout. No.
See,
Uh,
Okay. That's what I thought.
Throughout.
always
Well,
on.
let's have the show first. Then it can comment on whatever that we talked about. Maybe after the box. Let's do it after the box. So if a topic comes up, they may want to comment on the topic, on the box, or the question of the day. Um, okay.
Glad my camera off, Mr. G. You scratching your head. Yes,
I
ma'am.
I
like,
want people to know. I want people to
my
comment on
RBF is so
everything. I don't want them to.
bad.
I don't want to do the comments and then turn around, open the box, and they have something to say about the box too. I want them to comment. You see how they do me? You see how they do me, right? You see that? That's okay, because the show gonna go on
Okay,
anyway. Okay.
I'm back.
Hey, thank you for watching.
Thank you guys.
I'm going to open up the phone line, but I just want to do the question of the day. The question of the day is: what are some signs that people ignore about a person who might be abusive? What are some signs that they ignore? See, this is when I want to open up the phone line. 'Cause I want people to comment on this too. Tonio, don't do. You know what? Don't do that to me.
Y'all know we love each other here, child. No
Okay,
shade,
y'all.
all
Okay,
tea.
I'm going to open up the phone line. Listen, I'm going to open it up. Feel free to call in, you guys, and I'm hoping it's gonna work, y'all. It worked last night.
Uncle Reggie said he look. I didn't see the
You
phone.
didn't see the phone? Okay, I'm
That's
gonna post phone number back up there. Bam. Okay. So the question of the day is: what are some signs that people often ignore about a person who might be abusive? Phone lines are open. Call in, you guys, and let's see if I can get this volume up high so we can hear.
I know, child. Help the family, Lord. Help the family. Help us, child. Help the family.
Yes, help. What she said on Fifth Element.
Call us
Help,
now.
help me.
She could be referring to Salvation Army. It says, "Help ED, my family."
Oh, okay.
Help.
Okay, that's right. Okay, yeah.
But also help my family.
Okay.
Jesus.
So sometimes, if a man,
Okay, so while we're waiting on the phone line to open up, we're also going to open the box, I guess.
Let's get the box. Go ahead, give us a call. 678-825-5566.
If you are
That's
new
right.
here,
Go
we
ahead,
have
give us a call. Give us a call at 678 Talk KNN.
caller,
First caller.
It's from Mrs. Brookins.
Please state your
All right.
name.
Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, hey, caller. How you doing? What's going
Hey.
on? Yo, yo,
hello,
yo.
Hey, yes, Coco was correct. I was talking about the Salvation Army. Thank you.
Okay.
Help me out
Coco,
now.
you was
Chicago Public
correct.
School System. We're getting it. Come on.
what's on your mind? Let's talk about it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I wanted to answer the question of the day. If you can repeat it for me so I can give you an accurate answer.
Okay, the question of the day is: what are some signs that people often ignore about a person who might be abusive?
I'm going to go with affiliation. People often ignore how people are affiliated with one another. So just because it's a family member can't be happening, or just because it's a neighbor or a best friend or a coworker or a boss, just your particular affiliation. I think people ignore that a lot when someone's been abused.
Yeah.
Good.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So affiliation or not, if someone say it, then believe them until you prove otherwise, because it's a serious matter. Just because they're, oh, it's my husband, he didn't abuse you. You guys are together, so that cannot be. You're over exaggerating.
Yeah.
No, they're not. So that's a very good point. But thank you so much for that.
That was awesome.
Thank you for being our first caller on the show. Yay!
That's right.
Yes, I'm loving this.
I like this. I will be calling in more often. I'm still watching.
Please do. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
All right.
And shout out to our first caller.
Yes,
I
that
know,
was
right?
So you guys, and you
Be on the
all
lookout.
everyone heard her clear. She was clear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You got the strain in here. Okay, good. I want to make sure that everyone heard her.
Yes, that was very powerful what she said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Affiliation was our answer to the question of the day. Anyone else want to call in? The phone line is open, 678-825-5566.
And
Talk
that
Or
translates
talk KNN.
And you guys can call just to say you're enjoying the show, or you can comment or whatever. Just call,
You
make
can
sure it's on
remain
topic.
anonymous if you wish.
We have another caller.
Hey.
Awesome. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
This
press
is Uncle
Y'all don't
Reggie.
got to give your government name all the time.
Hey.
Y'all want to.
Hey, Uncle Reggie, how are you?
Uncle Reggie, are you there? Caller, are you there?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
How are you?
You're fine.
You have a question or comment about a topic?
Yeah, I was just wanting to comment as the abuse back in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
You know, males getting molested or raped, or how back in the 70s it was really, really hard for young men to come out. It was hard for young girls to come out and say that someone they knew personally was doing that to them. Because it was hard where you didn't know if anyone in your family or anyone was going to believe you, or they were going to blame you for it because, you know, you were gay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was hard for me at the time, and it took a long, long time, took decades for me to be able to start living my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could imagine that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate you sharing that, because it's definitely eye opening within itself. Oh, you can barely hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, it's definitely
okay.
Is that better?
So that's basically what, you know, I had to say about it, but it's, you know, it's a lot of things that I could probably touch on, you know. If y'all had questions about what, you know, certain things that happened, when it happened, how long did it last, and stuff like that. If you had a segment on that topic, you know, and I'm able to share, maybe I can help someone else.
Sure. I mean, this is the time. You're on the phone line. If you want to disclose that, we're not going to, invade your personal space as far as that experience is concerned. But if you want to shed some light on it, this is the time. Talk KNN. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, I was, like I said, I was young. I was about 12, going on 13. You know, and it actually was the person that initiated and everything. He was my barber. You know, and I worked in a liquor store called H&L for years, and it was kind of hard to tell anybody because people back then didn't believe half the things that came out your mouth, especially with the child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were 12, 13 years old, I was still a child.
Right.
You know, and I was still hanging out, going places, going to bars, going to clubs. And so when I decided to tell somebody, nobody believed me. You know, and so that took me into a depressed state. That took me into doing drugs.
Yeah.
And I started doing drugs, and I was doing them for a long time before anybody even knew I was doing drugs.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the guy. I don't know if he's still living or he's in jail or whatever. He was much older than I was at the time. So when I did get into liking guys really on my own,
Right.
or what I needed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I finally got about 17, 18 years old, and I realized I did like guys, and then met someone at the club, and almost got raped again. So,
No.
so this time I jumped out of the window,
My
Mm.
God.
and I was able to jump out of a window because I was locked in their house. There was more than that one person there. There was a couple more guys there, and something just kicked in. You need to get out. You need to leave. You know.
Yeah.
And those guys uh, that attempted to do this, I was going to the Martin Den back in the day, called the Martin Den. The guy that owned the Martin Den, when I told him about it, he believed me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so therefore, that guy that was taking that guy's home with them,
Mm.
I believe he was arrested.
Okay.
He was charged.
Okay.
Because then the other guys had said something bad about the Martin on that club. As a doctor back in the day.
I think we lost you. I think we lost you on bridge. Okay. No worries, no worries. But I know one of the questions that Miss.
Hold on, Uncle Ray. I think we got some static issues going on. Can y'all still hear it? I can hear you, but
Yeah, you're coming in a little bit. Yeah, it's breaking up a little bit.
we
Well, let's
had
go
a
ahead and
question.
pivot.
We had a
No,
question. We had a question from Mrs. Brookins that said, "How is your trust level with people now, interaction wise?"
Oh, my trust. Well, I got a lot of help since Southeast Mountain. I had a whole lot of help.
Okay.
I had 3 years of counseling, you know, and my trust level when I meet a person is but I don't guard for a long time until I get to know that person.
Right.
And then sometimes when you meet a person, you end up sticking with that person, even though that person ain't no good for you. Because you don't want to keep going through trying to figure out if that person's good, or that person's nice, or if this person wants to visit you, or whatever. So
Yeah.
it does affect you in relationships.
Yeah. I can imagine that falls under like PTSD or some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
No, I was saying I would imagine that falls under the category of like PTSD.
Yeah. It does.
I know the static is horrible, y'all. We have some kinks to work out with this phone line, but thank you so much, Uncle Reggie, for sharing with us. Hopefully, we have you on the show one day to talk more in detail about it if we revise this conversation. But thank you so much.
Thanks, Uncle Reggie.
Okay.
So I just wanted to share really quickly. I was initially going to, but share really quick before we wrap up for today. I know for myself, I've had many situations, unfortunately, to where I've been placed in situations. One specifically happened. Actually, quite a few of them happened when I was an undergrad, and I had my music director, my teacher, actually basically told me if I wanted a solo, I needed to do something extra in order to get that solo for the choir. I had a situation where I was talking to this one guy, and I went to his dorm room, and there were two other guys in the room, and basically one of the guys was hiding behind the door when I walked in and kind of closed the door behind me, and so I kind of had to tussle my little way up out of there, just to get out of the room. So yeah, I mean, it's been some pretty jacked up moments, especially in my youth, my younger years. I'm having to go through stuff like that, and yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool at all. I mean, even when I was in the military, I had one of my senior leaders basically pulled out his dick and said, "Well, I know you want this.
Wow.
Why are we in office?" And this guy was way older. I mean, at the time I was in my earlier mid-20s, and he was old enough to be my grandfather. He was in his early 50s, you know. So it was difficult. It was difficult, but just to get to the point of itself, that none of those situations were reported to me personally. Um, because of the stigma that came around it, because of the fact that I knew that I was a gay black man, and I knew if I said something about it, that was just going to be a stigma, meaning I wasn't out, or I didn't share my truth with anybody at the time. And it was during the don't ask, don't tell when it came to the military situation itself. So if that situation came out and investigation were to actually commence, then we would find out that, hey, we saw you, at the club. So now your military career is over. We're kicking you out. So, it's difficult. And I think there was a lot of situations with a lot of my peers and other members of the military, especially throughout the time period, that went through the same situation. Um, and felt stifled because of the situation, or because of our parameters that we had to operate under or within, serving in the military. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share that, just to say that abuse is real. Um, it's out there from all factions, from all personnel, men and female. I mean, I had a female actually come and grab my dick one time and told me that, you want to come on and give me this. You need to go ahead and leave those men alone and come get some of this pussy, basically out her mouth, right? I mean, it was just, yeah. So, yeah, it definitely happens. Definitely happens.
Well, thank you for sharing. I do have a question for you. Knowing that
Yeah.
you did not report any of those situations, if you could go
Mhm.
back, would you?
If I can go back as my current self, I would. And I think that's hindsight, being 2020, right? Um, but if I were to go back into that time period, do I think that I would have still made the same decision?
Mhm.
Probably. I think I
Okay.
probably would have made the same decision, only because of the other factors again that played into it. Um, Again, I wasn't. I didn't share my truth with anybody. Only a few people knew about me being gay back then, and those individuals that knew were either because they were gay or because I really trusted them. So if had
Yeah.
I said something, it would have been my word, being this young 19, 20, 21-year-old kid against this adult, right? So that fear being there. And then this other person was a prestigious director at the time. So you don't say nothing wrong about this individual. They had so much clout already, right?
Yeah.
That personality, not just as nobody from the South Side of Chicago is how I felt. So
Mm.
um, putting that to perspective, probably wouldn't have said anything. When it came to the three guys situation, it's three of them against one of me. So
Yeah.
I don't think that my word would have really worked, potentially. Um, and then when it came to the female, she was somebody in leadership too in the military. So um, then it would have came out. I don't know. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. Probably would have been on the same path. I just hope that now that we don't have those stipulations. I think a lot of our youth are actually stepping up and saying something about it, which I think is helpful.
Absolutely.
And I hope that we continue to move in that right path to give individuals the freedom and the liberty to go ahead and speak their truth about these situations. So
We want to
For
talk about a
sure.
positive.
And the reason,
Talk about a
as
positive
most
of
people
social
know,
media.
yeah, I
right.
shared before my encounter, and when I asked that question, it was because I was replanted in my head. So
Yeah.
if you guys remember, I did that time I go through
Yeah.
full court system. Now, as my adult self, it's like I wish I had,
Mhm.
because I just feel like now I left that door open for the opportunity for him to do it again to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's why I was asking. But thank
Yeah.
you so much, Mr. G, for sharing.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Um,
Yeah.
And you too. And everybody else, really appreciate you guys jumping on. This has been a very informative and a great, session today. And everybody
yeah,
just really being able to come in and share and be vulnerable. Um, great, great way to really wrap up this month's conversations.
yeah,
I think we got one more for you guys next week to really wrap up Mental Health Month. But I would really appreciate everybody just chiming in and jumping in and helping out.
Do we have one
Any
more?
closing remarks from you, Miss Clovenova? The 29th.
Oh, okay, the 29th, we're going to talk about suicide prevention.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of times when we go through anxiety, depression, PTSD, abuse, any form of abuse, it unfortunately leads to thoughts of suicide. So we're going to touch on that next Monday, about suicidal prevention. So I can't wait to shed some light on that, and we're going to just tie everything into that. We're going to give some resources, some resource lines that people can reach out to, if you guys feel suicidal. So you guys definitely want to join in on the show next Monday, as we dive into that. Thank you guys for also sharing your stories in the comments, giving your
absolutely.
opinions. We
Yep.
definitely appreciate that. I hope you guys share this live and all of our staticky and our technical difficulties. Listen, long as the message is out there that we're
Right.
shedding light on something that's not often talked about, that's the main point. Listen, we're the perfectly, I'm gonna say this again. Probably gonna say it every show. We're the perfectly imperfect show. I'm doing this show to prove to people that you don't have to be perfect to have a voice. Everything does not have to be perfect for you to speak your mind. And we do want to encourage, if you see something, say something. Is very important, especially with the youth, because they are watching and they're absorbing everything. Don't pull out your phones trying to get viral on World Star when
Yes,
someone's getting abused. That is the wrong answer. You're part of the
Right.
problem when you do that. Um, there is and I didn't put this on the thing, but I'm going to add this in the description at the end of the show. We have a Chicago Rape Crisis Hotline. The number is 888-293-2080. That is the Chicago Rape Crisis Hotline, for people that's in Chicago. I also get down to the City of Chicago Domestic Violence Helpline. I'm going to put all this at the bottom. That number is 877-863-6338. If you see something or you suspect domestic violence, please call. Someone may need your help. And then there's the Illinois Child Abuse Hotline, which is also 800-25 abuse. So that's 800-252-2873. Okay. Um, so that was a very heavy show. We talked about abuse. We're going to end it with something light. Hopefully, this box we'll lighten the end of the show, so we won't, leave it so heavy because we like
Well,
to
while
really
you,
on a good note.
while you
Okay.
getting that one up, I'm gonna go ahead and share this image real quick while
Okay.
she's pulling that up.
I'm gonna shake the box like
And
pull up the image. As soon as he pull it up, I'll pull the topic out. It's gonna be
Get
a
a
good.
good one.
yeah.
Okay, so I can
I
participate.
hope so. If you guys have a topic you want to add to the box, please place a hashtag plus the topic, and we will write it down on a piece of paper and we will throw it in the box, you guys. We're serious. So in the comment, put a hashtag, whatever the topic, if it's a topic, a question, whatever. We'll throw it in the box, and your topic may just come up on one of our shows. So you want to tune in.
So as I said a little bit earlier, today is our anniversary. So I just want to
Mm-hmm.
show it's popped up on my timeline here. So this is a picture of me and my boo on our wedding. So this was
Okay.
9 years ago.
9 years.
uh
9 years ago.
Wow.
yeah, 9 years ago. That's a picture of some of the folks that's downtown.
That's
Because we
like a
take a
little
little party bus
rooftop
downtown
situation.
afterwards. We was on the rooftop there, child. On the
I have
rooftop
yet to
after the
go to a
wedding. This
rooftop.
is Yeah, so
Interesting.
this was nice. A couple of other pictures here. Some people I want to show people I don't know. So I'm gonna flash. I'm gonna flash through. It's my
Hey,
mammy and my
Granny.
grandbutter. Yeah,
Oh,
Look at
this
that.
is
so
us.
Miles.
Yeah, I was so excited to have
Now,
her still
do
around
you
for
still
that.
have your same ring from 9 years ago, or have you guys did a upgrade or anything yet?
We have both. I have the originals and we did an upgrade too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Making sure
yeah,
I'm not the only one. I always want a little date
yeah.
upgrade.
And then some other folks here. We flash through those, but that's us there.
Okay.
Me and my
That's the one that
booby.
was on the invitation, wasn't it?
No, this wasn't the one. It was another one that was on the invitation.
I still have your
But yeah,
invitation too. The card that came with the invitation, I still have it.
huh,
Those dresses
yeah.
were everything.
Yes.
Thank you. I picked those out.
Nice,
So
great job.
everything,
Oh,
yeah. So we had the
Okay.
ladies, and then we had our men as
Hey,
well. So we had
Denise.
groomsmaids and groomsmen. So it was pretty cool. It was a cool day. So, but yeah, that's it.
awesome.
That's it. Just want
A
oh.
happy anniversary,
Yes.
Ben.
Happy anniversary again to you.
And congratulations to the
Thank
kiddos.
you.
Busy day for you guys.
Yes, yes. It is. It is.
That's
Okay,
exciting.
Ms. Booker said the segment should have been next week in light of all the military topics. Oh, okay.
What's in that box? What you pull out?
Okay, so I put anything.
That's it. No peeking.
Okay. This topic says
Dun, 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 dun.
this is for me. It says being trans. I don't know what. Okay. Okay. Being
Let's
trans.
talk about
Let's
it.
talk about it. Okay. So in the month of mental health, I want to say that people often associate being trans with mental health issues like chemical imbalances or like kind of crazy or whatever. And I'm naturally
Mm,
crazy, so this ain't got nothing to do with me being ain't got
Period.
nothing to do with me being trans.
that
Listen,
part.
trans people are
That part.
also victims of a lot of discriminatory abuse. We are not only getting abused, but we're getting murdered and killed due to a lot of people's uncomfortability with us being here on this earth that we've been since the beginning. Now that we're open and we're out more and we're visible and we have a voice, it also puts us at risk for being abused verbally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, as well. So being trans in 2023 is very challenging, but it doesn't discourage us. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be on your TV, on your radio. on your screen on YouTube. We're going to be everywhere.
Okay.
It's there are laws right now being put in place to eradicate trans people. There are laws trying to strip us of our basic health needs and things that make us who we are. So I want to shed light on that too. Um, Shout out to the Democrats who are trying to prevent this. I think being trans. I think Biden is trying to protect us. In the beginning, I felt it more strongly than I do now. I don't kind of think he's leaning into that. He has a lot of other stuff that he's diving into, but I do want to shed light on the fact that even especially down south, there are
Mhm.
laws being put in place to prevent us from even going to the bathroom, like from even having a drag show, to even having gender affirming reassignment surgeries. I do agree that as a child, you shouldn't be talking about surgeries because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not that it's not the time for a child to be talking about surgeries, whatever. But I do um, feel like we should have that basic right as an adult to have what we need to be ourselves. I think that's the
Yeah.
least of our worries in the United States of America, being trans. Um, and I just that's what I have on being trans. I don't. Do you guys want to comment on being trans? You guys are not trans, but just transgender people. Period. I was trying to tie it
I mean,
into the show the same way, but
yeah.
yeah.
I guess the only thing I would say in that retrospect would just be just from the my friends and family that I have that are trans. I think that what I've always learned and what I've respected was the fact was the bravery. I respected the fact that no, y'all ain't crazy. Um, Outside the ones that are already crazy. But but it has nothing to do with you being trans. It's just your ass crazy as shit. But it's but no, but honestly though, I just really think that when it comes to being abused, and there's a lot of mental abuse that's going on currently within society. I think there is a lot of physical abuse that's still happening. I know quite a few of my trans brothers and sisters out there that are part of LGBTQ plus community that have had some sort of physical abuse, sexual abuse, um, overall because of who they are as a person, because they're people. We're all people, right?
Mhm.
So it just really needs to be understood that everybody needs to be respected. Period.
Well,
If what I am doing does not physically harm or affect your life, mind your business. Okay, mind your motherfucking business, right? Um, but
heard
I
it here.
do agree as well. I do agree to your point earlier, Ms. Clover, when it comes to the gender affirming surgery. I do believe that that is something that needs to be happen that needs to be decided on as an adult, just like everything else. There's age restrictions for a reason. We have those for a reason. That education experience, it counts for something. So being an adult to be able to make that decision, I believe that's something. As 7, 8, 9 years old, you can't drive a car. You can't drink. You can't go buy cigarettes. You can't get an apartment. You can't get a credit card. You can't do, and there's a reason for that, because you don't have the life experience or the maturity to make those decisions. So saying at that age that you want to do this for your child, I think is a lot. So yeah, I believe personally as well. It has nothing to do with, for me, it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with me not agreeing with the child's decision or who they are. I believe that there's just some education and some experience that needs to happen for that individual for them to make that decision when it comes to medical decisions. So, but that's me.
I very well said. Um, I agree. I absolutely love all humans.
Yeah. Dumbass.
Sorry, sorry, but no, I love all humans. I don't look at people and oh, you're gay, oh, you're trans. You are human. God created you. You are one of his children. So I
Yeah.
love who I love. Um, I've been called a trans before myself, actually. I used to hang out with a friend, and she was trans. Well, she is.
Mhm.
And yeah, people thought I was. And I'm like, hey, my heart beat just like yours. So whatever you want to classify me
Mhm.
as, that's on you. At the end of the day, I'm a child of God, and we all are. So I
Right.
love people. I dislike people, but I don't care what you have, or you are who you are, and I love people for that. So
There it
yeah,
is.
this
Well,
was
thank
a
you guys.
great show.
I know, right?
It sucks
I
that I had
really appreciate it.
camera off, but I was frozen when I looked back in on it. I was just frozen. I'm like, I don't want to just be frozen like the entire time. So that's why I decided to turn the camera off. Thank you all for tuning in, although we had all the static in the world today. But that's the devil, y'all. He was mad. He was mad. He was mad.
Yes. That
Busy.
was shedding light on a topic
That's
that
him.
needs to be shed light on.
So hopefully it
Him was
corrects itself
busy.
as staticky. It's happened before. So let's just keep our fingers crossed.
Mhm. That's right.
Okay.
All
But
righty,
like I
people.
said,
We
don't
love
forget if you
y'all.
have
Thank
not,
you so much for everything.
yes, if you have not already, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share this on your social media pages. And until next Monday, have a peaceful, positive, productive, prayed up, and most importantly,
Stay blessed.
stay blessed.
Stay blessed.
This is a stat production, baby.